Welcome to the Beer League broadcast, your go-to podcast for everything Beer League hockey. Here we celebrate the unsung heroes of the hockey world, the weekend warriors, the midnight puck enthusiasts, and the locker room storytellers. Whether you're a grinder chasing the puck after a long workday, a goalie with more bruises than pride, or just a fan of Beer League camaraderie, this podcast is for you. From game highlights and outrageous chirps to gear talk, post-game beers, and questionable ref calls, we're bringing you the best of the barn every week. So grab a cold one, lace them up, and join us for the behind-the-scenes look at the greatest game on earth, Beer League hockey. Because here, every shift counts, even the one to the beer fridge.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Beer League Broadcast Podcast with the four idiots. You guys actually get to see our faces on this episode, so whether you might not like it and you might unfollow us after that, but we'll see how it goes. Hey, boys, how's it going?
Good.
I'm in shambles right now, just waiting for Vancouver to beat the Devils in overtime.
So just really not paying attention to what's going on. It's great.
No, I'm dialed in here, Clint. Don't you ever say that.
It's nice to see.
All right, guys. So today's episode, we're doing a recap of the Black Diamond Men's Hockey League season and playoffs. So it's our recap episode. Finished up last weekend on Saturday in the final. So we'll go back to the beginning of the season and let Randy kind of give us a start in the recap here.
Start with the season. Hey, I thought it was a good season. It had some drama with GM stepping down and forfeits that I had to, recoup, and some fights and got some suspensions, mainly from Tyson's team as well. So that was a goalie fight, though, wasn't it? That was a good one. I don't mind handing out those suspensions, but I think as a whole, the year was actually pretty decent. The parity was a little bit closer this year. Like, teams weren't getting blown out. There was a few blowout games, but even the Knuckles, I think our losses were 2 or 3 goals. They weren't by 15 every night, which was good. And we had inaugural DVHC, or Pink Whitneys that you like to call them, Clint, that make their way to the final. So hopefully they're like the actually not hopefully, since there might be another team coming in the league next year, but I was going to say hopefully they're like the Vegas Golden Knights, where they learn to lose the first season and then come back and win it the second season. But I think overall it was a good year, and the playoffs end up really, really good. I think from what I've talked to the guys, the format we did this year, where it's not so many games on one day, was you kind of miss that everyone at the rink kind of chilling out. But I think the bodies are a little bit easier, and then the final ends up being better because both teams are not well rested, because the semifinals are in the same day, but rested enough that the final was fast. It was good.
It was good. What do you got, Tyson?
Yeah, it was a really good hockey game.
Recap?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks so much, Randy, for all the kind words you shared about me just now. I really appreciate it. You're a true gentleman and a great friend, as always, man. That was great. No, it was good. I played about 12 games. It was good. Didn't want to play anymore. Didn't play anymore. It was good. I was still low-key cheering for my boys, though. None of them like me anymore, but I wanted them to win still, a little bit. Just because I don't think they've ever won the league, and it's nice to see someone different. Shout out the Steelers, though. It's pretty tough to three-peat in any league wherever you play, but they find a way to, play every game all season with 8 guys and then show up with 800 for the playoff weekend. So I think with a little bit more rest, they're all bringing their A game. And once again, I love him to God. I'm sure he stood on his head. I wasn't there to see it, but Tyler just comes up just a hair short.
Tyler was rock solid in the semifinal and the final, for sure.
He tried.
Well, hearing that Derek's line was -4 really made me feel good, because what am I supposed to do with a line like that out there,
They may have been actually -5. No, because Logan scored. So Logan was on a different line. They may have been actually -5 for the game.
Yikers.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. But, overall, it was a good season. The problems still stemmed that we were short guys throughout the season on every friggin' team. I know Tyler and I played, 2-3 games every weekend or every day, Saturday, Sunday, that there was guys always short. They're always missing players. So that's always a concern, because like Tyson said, during playoffs, all of a sudden you got a roster from 20 to go from 8 to 20, and yeah, guys are rested. No shit. They didn't show up all fucking season. So it does make playoffs a little bit different, but I think it'll be nicer when we get back to the 8 teams, maybe even see how we go with that.
You
Definitely.
think
I
we
mean,
can
that's the
get
goal.
there?
Yeah. I think 8 teams is quite doable with what we're trying to accomplish for the league, and just like making it so you're not playing the same guys every weekend. So it'll be like, you might play one team twice in a month instead of like every fucking second weekend, or every weekend you play back to backs or whatever, right? Um, Save that shit for playoffs so that the guys aren't as, if you want to get heated in playoffs, that's fine, but it takes the animosity down a little bit for sure when you're not playing the same guys over and over and over again.
I agree. I think that's the ultimate goal. Get us to 8. Even 7's better than 6. Just that way, it's just one more team at least would make good. I mean, 8 with the ice times we have, we can't get more than 8, or else you're not playing that much. But no, overall, I thought it was good.
Tyler, what do you got?
8 teams would be good for like the animosity and everything. I agree, but I do like how much we play. Like I like playing both nights, most weekends and stuff. I'm a bit of a junkie though. I don't know. I know not everyone likes that. I think, like you said, Clint, you and me probably played like 73% of all the games in the league this year.
Yeah, one of us was on the ice for at least that many games.
You know what? It probably, if I didn't have the Flames tickets, I probably would have been joining with you guys for most of the time, just because you need guys to play, right? So, 'cause I think I played.
You wouldn't have made playoffs with that fucking knee.
Well, you'll get there.
You would have been on the IR a lot sooner than I would have been.
Jesper Bratt just scored an absolutely filthy shootout goal. Let's go.
Okay. Do you want to pay attention here? Or
Yeah, no one
you're
cares
watching a
about the
garbage
Devils
hockey
except
team?
for you.
Maybe some people care that Van's going to lose.
Actually, I do. That's a big loss. That's a big loss for Vancouver. But anyways, I digress.
Nobody cares.
No.
But overall season recap, I think everything went, as good as it can be with 6 teams in the league, and with everything kind of going on and stuff like that, and getting the league back from, where it was like 2 years ago, right? So I think it'll be good. We got the broadcast team coming in next year, so us 4 are going to be on a squad together, and we got a couple other guys from Arizona already signed up to come play with us. I don't know if Tyson saw that, but we got a couple guys who said they're going to play. Zayner and we talked to Courtney, so both of them want to come play with us next year. So we got 6 of us recruited so far.
You know what, Clint? Yeah, you're playing, bud.
I'm allowed to, really?
Jesus H Christ.
I didn't know Carrie approved it or not. But
I did. I sent the paperwork in.
Just making sure I'm recommended.
I said they should pay you. That's what I said.
10 cents of every dollar they pay you, then I'll take it.
It's been 2 weeks and you two are still just heated with it all. I love it.
No. We had a sick bond moment. We went out to Blackie last night and had a little scrimmage or whatever.
Did you guys talk it out on the truck ride out? You guys had a nice little chat out your differences about who's who?
I think it's just you guys bringing out in us. Like we were great last night. One-on-one, me and Tyson are fantastic.
No, that's what I need. I need some Tyler time. And the more time I spend with Tyler, the less time Clint asks me for money. It's perfect.
I haven't asked you in a couple weeks, Tice. I think you're good, bud. But now I'm going to bring it up because you brought it up.
Invoice pending?
Yeah, where's the money?
We're net 30 days. We're like 18 in. Just so all you viewers at home know, like running a podcast ain't free. Like I thought it was too, but no, it's like requires millions. Shout out Pink Moscato. Please sponsor us. I'll take cash if you can't sell in Canada. I don't know about tariffs. And I can't believe I'm bringing this up first time ever. Shout out OnlyFans. I need you bad. Cash flow, please. Anything.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Jesus Christ.
This is a great way to start, a season recap. We're just right into it. All right, I want to go through the highlights, guys. Give me one highlight each of the season. Everyone give me one highlight moment of the season for you guys, each one of you.
Go ahead, Tyson.
I know you all want me to say quitting and ripping the Band-Aid off and not being a part of it, but the thing for me is just to see, you three on the ice together at the end, even though you don't always all play on the same team and you guys spare so much for everybody else. But seeing you three collectively have your little bonding moment, all your, what do you call them, wogs, waffles, whatever, like your significant others are all there watching you play hockey. I think that's a pretty cool triple date for you guys. And I'm very happy for you. Jealous I'm not in love and couldn't be a part of it, but shout out you guys. That's my highlight of the year.
Randall,
Have you really never not heard of WAGs? Like wives and girlfriends, you've never heard of that?
No, people I hang out with normally don't have those. You guys are the first.
the things you're learning just in this like 12 episodes so far, Tice. Like holy, the things that you're just developing all this new vocabulary that you've never had. It's great.
Oh, you guys have been a great influence on me, and doing the show and stuff has been great. But part of the reason you guys play is a little different than why I play and stuff. And to see you guys get that bonding moment together, I think is dope. It was highlight of the year for me for sure. Do I get a pick who goes next, please?
Yep.
Randy.
Fuck, I don't know. I think highlight for me. I didn't play much this year, but I think that final was probably the highlight for myself. Like actually watching your little your team's little shindig there with goaltender getting one of your players just punching out 3 different guys on the other team in one shift. I think was kind of a highlight for me to watch. But I think the final, the semifinal and final were probably one of my highlights, just because they were fun games to play in. And I carried DVHC in the final. Outside of Tyler, I carried DVHC in the final. 2 goals, 2 assists. I can't do much more.
You did live up to the, maroonish, Corey Perry, old guy just in there crashing, bang, and scoring big goals. So
we
I'll
had
give you
a
that.
bunch of loose knuckles watching that game in the final, and they definitely say that I'm the problem on the ice because they didn't realize how dirty I actually was until they watched me actually playing and realized I'm really slashy and hooky and elbowy and all the fun stuff. But whatever.
Set the tone.
Set the tone.
Got it, boy.
You have to be Randy.
Yep.
Don't have a choice. Tyler, what do you got?
I think the final day probably was the highlight too. It was so like you don't see it all the time in beer league, especially not in the city and stuff, but the stands were actually like packed. Like there was multiple teams there, there was lots of families, there was lots of wives, girlfriends, friends. Like it was just fun. It was really great hockey and the community turned out big. They opened the concession stand. Like it was a fun atmosphere. So that was a lot of fun. It was good to see the community and the league kind of gather around each other and come out and support it.
Yeah, that's true. That was neat to see. Like the stands are full for both semis games and the finals on Saturday. For
Yeah,
Black
no, it was
Diamond
awesome.
stands. Like they weren't packed, but it was still it was pretty. If they're opening the concession, it's a big deal that they can make money on. There's enough people in there to justify being open, right? So, no, that is a cool one for everyone to see.
Clint, was your highlight the games where you didn't get injured?
That's one of them for sure, dude.
Were there any games that happened? Like, do you remember the one game that happened vividly, or
that I didn't get hurt, or that I did get hurt?
that you didn't? I didn't realize there was a single game where you left unscathed.
Oh yeah, there's a couple. Not many, but there was a couple.
Actually, Tyler, I take that back. My favorite moment was when I broke Clint's ankles on a toe drag. And then he tried to actually spear kick me with his skate on and right in the chest.
Cleats up. The best part was actually not you making the move, was his explanation that he intentionally
I swept the leg.
fell and snapped both of his knees and dislocated his pelvis. And that wasn't because of your hands. Go ahead.
I'm retracting my favorite moment as well. My favorite moment is being on the ice with Tyler on the same team and watching him get lit up twice, both bar south by Steve Briggs. Absolute bar down bingos, and Tyler's glove hand was nowhere to be found. That was my favorite moment of the year. Watching Tyler looking at his glove, seeing if there's a hole in it.
He scored 1 goal. I don't
There
know
was
where the
2.
2 comes from. It definitely
2,
was
and
not.
they're both hit crossbar. And then
Neither. He can't lift the puck to the crossbar.
Well,
They were glove
had
hand.
the bottom covered.
They were glove hand, but they were certainly not bar down.
Bar south, not down, south.
South. Well, agree to disagree. We'll get the footage.
All right, Clint, what was yours?
I don't have one because I was hurt the whole season, Randy. Remember?
Wow. Oh, that's why you're nicknamed LTIR. Fucking guy.
Oh, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of good moments, like just even playing with all the different teams and getting to know more of the guys that are in the league and getting them involved in the broadcast and what we're doing here, and getting to know just those different rooms and who's in there and who's not, and the dynamics of each room. It's good. It's trying to get everybody more involved and bringing more guys down. And I think for me, like the highlight is like being able to do this and see where this goes with getting guys more involved in the league and getting the stands a little more full and maybe getting some other ice times added into the league and kind of continuing that.
You know what? You touched on something there, Clint. I think this year especially, like, I mean, there's guys that know each other quite a bit in the league, but this year especially, I think it almost seemed guys were friendlier. Like there was still shit that happened on the ice because that's what happens in a game. But there was a lot more times where guys were sitting and watching other games and kind of chatting with each other. You know, if the 4 of us were sitting there and the Steelers had done a game and they were out watching, you chat with each other, and that hasn't happened a lot in the past. So it's good to see that happening because that just helps with, the bullshit in the ice. You're never, no matter what league you're in, you're still going to always have that because that's just what hockey is, right? I mean, I watched that video of pickleball where the guy just boots the other guy in the face after a match and knocks him out cold. It's sports, right? I think you can't really get away from that. So, but I think outside of the games, I found the groups were a lot better, and it's good to see. What I'm interested in of all this now is, Tyson, you're still on that group chat. Is how bad did Hensy get beaten up in your group chat after that loss in the semifinal?
This is the best part of it all, and I got reference from a couple of my closer buddies on the team still, but they've actually made a group chat inside the app with every player on the team except for me. So now nobody messages in the main one, so I don't get nothing anymore. I just deleted the app and gave up. So there's no conspiracy there. And he has some really good games too, and sometimes he lets in the odd week or one or whatever. I didn't see what happened when they got busted up 9-10-1, whatever. But at the end of the day, he's been loyal. He's played for the team for however long. If you love him, hate him, whatever, I don't think a guy should get exiled from his beer league team because some people on the team don't think you're good enough. I think beer league hockey as a whole should be welcoming for everyone. We're not like the city of Calgary where you have like rankings and divisions, right? Like we're in a position, in my opinion, we should be taking in everyone we can and trying to grow and promote our league as much as possible. So if you got a guy who's willing to come out and stop as many pucks as his ability can have, to me, go for it. And last time I looked at the league standings, the Pillman let in the least amount of goals all year of any team in the league.
This is a complete 180 from his first 11 episodes talking about the Pillman. The reason I asked Tyson is because if, like Tyler and I were talking, if I was Hensy, I would have left that dressing room on Saturday afternoon, giving every single one of my team members the middle, like just a big fuck you as I walked out of that dressing room because they had zero issue with calling the poor guy out. And I like Hensy. Hensy's a good guy.
They basically put up like fucking wanted posters for him with like a bounty on his head after the game. Like they were telling anyone who would listen that he absolutely fucked them. And like I said to Randy, I wouldn't come back. Like I'm not like I hope he comes back. I like Hensy. I can give him a hard time every now and then too. But like he's a good guy. He does show up, and the team needs a goalie. Like the league needs goalies. But man, like I don't know. What's the average age of the Pillman? Like 25,
7.
and Hensy's 7, and Hensy's I don't know, like in his late 30s.
Yeah, he's by far the oldest player, and
I would have told those young fuckers to fuck off. Go ahead, Tice.
Yeah, it's just I think, and I'm hard on him too. And to Randy's point, I'm laughing a little bit. I don't need to bash all the fucking guys, and they all listen to the podcast and hate me anymore. I didn't like playing. I wasn't good at hockey, whatever, besides the point. But if you're going to have a goalie play for you 3-4 years straight, regardless if he's the best option or not, you give that guy the crease. Again, it's a loyalty thing.
100%.
Right? Same thing, like, in my opinion, like, if you want to run a tournament, Randy, and you're going to put all the effort in, you call the fucking shots. Whatever you say is going to happen, right? Like, the people who are committed and passionate are putting the time and effort into the things, those are the people who should be making the shots, right? Part of the reason I quit and didn't want to play is guys are texting me about line combinations and, like, who's playing with who and shit, and, like, cussing out players if they don't play good or do enough in other guys' opinions. Like, that's the part of beer league I don't like, and I think our league needs to, as much as you can, lose a bit of that competitiveness. And, like, they got absolutely stomped in the semifinal, but they still had guys like pouting, throwing hissy fits, guys getting kicked out, right? Like, to me, like, you just need to suck it up a bit, take the loss, and now go golf and have a good summer. Like, if you don't win the Black Diamond Beer League, your life's not over by any standpoint.
Yeah, like Berard said, he came in our room and was talking about hearing all them bitching him out. And he's like, we scored 1 goal, boys. You're not going to win a lot of games in beer league if you score 1 goal. We scored it in like the 3rd period, So it's not like we gave him a lot of help. Bit of a more mature viewpoint from one of the older guys on the team. But
It's a tight league though too, and like the emotions run high for a lot of guys. You see them out there, like they take it serious. Like look, the Steelers, for example, take it incredibly serious every fucking year. They always have.
Oh yeah.
So,
the
and
Steelers, fuck you. You had to leave the bench. You were so steamed up. Talking about the Steelers taking it serious. Clint couldn't even finish his coaching job because he was getting so torqued on the bench.
yeah, you know why, Tyler.
I've never been undressed out of the dressing room so fast in my life after that final game. Like,
Yeah.
I was off the ice before I think, and undressed before the trophy was even handed out, I think.
It's bad sportsmanship.
Why? Fuck
No,
that.
you weren't.
Huh?
You were not.
100%. Ask Tyler. I was like undressed by the time half the team was in the dressing room.
You're out of there pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is what it is. It's just one of those things. But let's get back to the recap though, because we're kind of going off topic a little bit, which we normally do. But let's get into recap and playoffs. The formatting, what we're thinking like for next year. We like the formatting. I wouldn't mind seeing some other games, like the Saturday Sunday. I like having like the weekend play. I get why we do the Saturday only, or even just like Tyler and I were talking to it would go back to the best of 3 for the finals.
Mhm.
You play
I think
Saturday Sunday.
I think there's definitely something there. The problem is we, what do guys want? Do they want the regular season games? Like, is that where you want to have them? Like, do you? Because in order to do that, you almost have to go down to because right now I think this year we played 34 games. We would have to go down to probably 31 to 32 games each, because now you have to have that, that ice time available for a best of 3, right? Because I don't know, like, you're not going to play 2 games in that best of 3 in one day, right? It's going to be, on a Friday night, Saturday night, and then maybe Sunday if you need it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you have to think about too is that, like, this weekend, as soon as that buzzer goes in that championship game, they're turning the ice plant right off, right? So
It doesn't work anyway, so who gives a shit?
but what I mean by that though is, will the rink allow us to kind of pick and choose like, they were pretty good this year in letting us have those ice times, because that's only having 3 ice times on that Saturday, that's a big cost for them to keep that rink going for 3 games, right? And they'll always do it because we've been doing it now for 20, 25 years. But I understand what you mean, because I think that's where the tournament was nice, right? When you have, the full day on the Saturday, whereas games from 8 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night, it has a completely different dynamic. It's
Mhm.
the problem with that is just guys are just, if you're playing 2 or 3 games in a weekend, you're bagged, right? I'm not saying it can't happen, but it'd be nice if we, you know, 'cause I live right so close to the rink. I know that rink is empty Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, leading up to the weekend, right? It's hard to be able to pivot when you've got all these guys working out of town, that kind of thing, to say, hey boys, you know, we're now going to play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then because we've tried it before and you just get the pushback. And the thing is, you know, we've done a few tournaments, we've talked to a few of those guys, is, you know, whether it's Whitefish or Arizona or Banff, the problem is your schedules are, you're never going to please everyone, so you just got to try and please the majority. And I don't know what the right answer is, because I think I like both ways. I do like the tournament style, I think, better, just because of the camaraderie and everything at the rink. And that's where, you know, maybe you do even a cabaret the Friday night or the Saturday night, right? You know, if the Black Diamond bar would open up past 9 o'clock at night. But I think there's opportunities there. I think the problem is, Clint, you've been to our league meetings, is there's not enough input from guys, right? It's just like, oh yeah, don't care. And it's like, well, fuck. And then you get to playoff time and like, why the fuck are we doing it this way? It's like, fuck, like we talked about this in fucking August, boys. Like, you can't do it without input. And that's the problem, is you're just kind of, all right, we'll try this and see what happens.
I think it depends on the year too, right? Like we were talking to some of the Steelers and we thought the best of three would have been amazing this year because obviously that game came down to one goal with a minute left. You know, but other years, you know, if the final team in that first game, or if there's only one game in the finals or whatever, and it's a 9-1 romp, you know, and you're like, well, we got to go out there and get our shit pumped in again. And then everyone's like, well, why did we do the back-to-back? We had to shave a game off, and that was fucking dumb. And it, like, you know, and then the next year it's a really good game when they're like, we should have done 2 out of 3. And, you know, it all kind of, circumstances kind of dictate what people want in the end. And then the next year, again, like you said, there's no input, there's no thought to it, and everything changes.
The reason we want to go Saturday is so guys can actually enjoy it Saturday night, right? Like if like for example, if we go into Whitefish here in April or May and we win that tournament on Sunday morning, we're getting in the trucks and driving home, right? Like you can't enjoy it. So that's why we decided to try and switch it up so your final game is played on Saturday. So that way, fuck, the rink will stay open till 11 o'clock if you want to, and you guys can just, you know, party here, right? But yeah, you're right, Tyler. I think it's just year by year, it's different.
Very much so.
I think my opinion, Randy, and I think you really touched on it, something I'd like to propose, not that I run the league or anything, but is I think if we could try to get some input from like the town, like the bar, or like I know they had some little food truck thing over by the grocery store there for a bit, but something at the rink, even like try to make it where like people can show up and hang out in around the arena like all day and try to make a venue out of that. And like even if we get a convoy of guys walking like from the rink to the bar, and there's, you know, kind of that tournament format where you're there more so an all day thing, but trying to get everybody out for the whole day, I think gets the socializing there. And if you can sell it a bit more like a party a bit, then you kind of get more guys out too, and it'll help the league grow, especially guys from the city. Like if you play 2 games in a day, like, okay, you're going to come play at noon and then you're going to drive back to Calgary and then come back and play at 6 again. Like, this is not feasible. But
100%.
just my thoughts.
Hey,
don't
listen.
agree with me now. You don't have to be nice just because we're recording, but I'll take it.
Listen, I've heard there's an opening for league manager, Tyson. So maybe throw your hat in. Maybe you will run the league next year.
Yeah, you know what? I would make it a 2-team league. It'd be me and you guys and the rest of my buddies who I haven't quite met or figured out yet. And we'd just be playing 10 on 10 twice a weekend every week. Everybody else can pound sand.
You still do that.
that's
We just got
good.
to get ice time booked.
Yeah.
Can we put a
There's
poll on our Instagram? Should Tyson run the league next year with one of them little sliding flame icons?
Wow.
People say
Just-
like it's a hot or cold idea.
Just kicking me off, eh? Like just
Oh,
forcing
now
me
you
into
want to do
retirement.
it? I only got
I
about a
haven't
dozen
actually,
emails.
I haven't formally retired yet. I'm just saying, like, there's a chance that I'm not going to do it. I haven't announced my retirement yet, Tyson.
Well, do I need to hold it like this and find the email of you saying, well, I'm not running the league next year and we're still yet to find a president? Do I need to find that email?
Yeah, no one stepped up, so I can't retire.
So you do still want to do it a little bit.
Wow,
You had too much fun this year.
You know what? It at the start of the year, it's a fucking pain in the ass. Like we've already touched on in another podcast because chasing teams, chasing guys for money, there's a stress there of, right up until 3 weeks before the season, right? I'm sitting there going, we don't have a league, right? We're not running it's not feasible to have a 5-team league, right? Just due to costs. So it's like, okay, like we're gonna have to fold. So Clint and I have to start another team, and we're scrambling to find players. And luckily, we get to 6. That's what sucks about running the league is no one else gives you help, right? It's sent out to the league leaders. I'm like, hey, boys, like we need players so we can form another team or another team. Like, get your guys on your team to keep an eye out, spread the word. Then I meet up with some guys that are on teams. I'm like, hey, did Harvey talk to you, or Harvey or Tyson or Clint or Luke? Did he talk? Do those guys talk to you about getting some players? What do you mean we need players or teams? It's like, Jesus, like you guys aren't even sending it to your teams to try and build the league up better, and that's the frustrating part.
Which
Yeah,
It's
happens.
like herding cats.
Yeah.
But what do you do?
Yeah, it's a feasibility thing, I think, for a lot of people to, sink let's call the average guy's fees $600 to play in this league, right? Like, and you divide it out, you're probably only like 16, $17 a game, which is pretty cheap. But, we run a podcast about hockey, for crying out loud. Like, we're obviously really into it. Like, some guys want to play a game a month. Like the Pillman, I had one guy, I think he paid 700, and I think he paid 2 games.
Moose Knuckles had a guy like that.
Mhm.
It's the
Yeah, but
second year back to back. He's paid full price and shown up to like 4 games total in 2 years.
I don't get it. How do you pay the money for that?
Personal
No
choice.
idea.
Personal choice. We had a couple guys that had to leave halfway through the season this year. Different things, and didn't play a bunch of games too. But I mean, that's just normal. But I think building up the playoff runs and like getting like the media out there and people seeing it and like what we're doing and then what the league's about, you're getting more traction, and we're gonna see more with the tournaments that we're doing coming up in Whitefish. With the back-to-back actually tournaments, and then the other ones that we're looking at doing in between in the off season here, and then some exhibition games we got planned coming up for the Whitefish tournament. People start to follow the pod, and it's growing, and the social media is slowly growing too. So you're starting to get more people actually commenting on different things and sending little notes and messages. So I think you're going to see more traction. I think us maybe just going out and partnering with the bar or one of the breweries might not be a bad thing for the league for next year. So they'd be like, hey, these are the times that we're gonna maybe book out the facility, and you guys like stay open. You know what I mean? Um, Anything like that.
Yeah, we really should next year reach out and see if we can get like a couple of league nights, maybe at Christmas, maybe, end of the year, stuff like that. Get them to stay open for a little bit.
Problem is the hotel. The hotel is brutal. Like they're like, nope, we're closing at 10.
No, I know, but like
go somewhere else.
Kickers is around. I know it's like usually dead and whatever, but it's a good enough time. They serve fine enough booze. They've got
You know what?
pool tables, and they're always open. And everyone's the same distance as the hotel, basically.
I always forget about Kickers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like they'd love it. They always stay open till 2, unless they're completely dead. So just talk to them, and I'm sure they'd host it for sure. They're dying to get people in there.
Tyler should go in there and ask for a sponsorship. There you go.
It's got to be a win-win for them too, right? Like, just for the sake of getting business. It's like, look, we'll put a bunch of flyers up or whatever in the rink and stuff, and we'll pay to get the flyers, man. Give us like $1,500 for the year or whatever, call it, and we'll bring people all here and promote the shit out of coming here between games. And like, you'll probably get a meal out of every guy in every team, and they'll probably show up twice throughout the day for beer, right? Like, they probably make 10 grand on that.
Mm-hmm. Even the curling rink bar, like
There's a
the
bar in
weird
the
thing
curling
is,
rink?
Yeah.
the only thing is the curling rink's a completely separate. Like it's not ran by the town, so it's a completely separate entity. So the curling rink, the curling club, there's a bar up there. It's fully licensed. I was talking to one of the operators, like that. There was actually windows that like look down onto the ice surface, but they're boarded up because it was a separate entity.
Yeah, so there's things like that that need to, like, we're gonna start building for the people listening and watching. Like, that's the idea, is to start building up and turning this in more into a almost like, a boys club to come and hang out, bring the families as well during those big events. But like when you're out in the evenings on like a Saturday, Sunday, like freaking after your games, like we can all go out and have a few drinks on a Saturday or whatever, right? So things like that bringing the guys together to do a little bit more socializing and hanging out, and it's not just about the hockey like Tyson always likes. It's more about like the guys hanging out and getting to know each other and having some fun with one another too, right? Like make some new friends, fuck whatever, it doesn't matter. But that's the whole idea, and I think pushing that into 8, even 10 teams and getting more ice might be the route we end up going.
Well, and there's something there. You can always look into Okotoks for ice times, right? Even if it's one ice time a week, right? I mean, there's opportunity there, even in Blackie, High River, wherever it may be. I think there's opportunity there if you really wanted to. I think it's just our ice times are good in Black Diamond.
Very good.
It even I have people over to my house type thing. It's fun, but you guys stay way too fucking long when you guys come over. So
Fuck you.
What do you mean?
You're the one who
guys
can
come
barely
over?
stand, who
Can we
stands with
touch
his glass doing one of these,
the
and then
only
slurring his
guy when I
words and
showed
telling the
up?
same story over and over.
Yeah.
You asked me when I showed up back. I left to go to another game for everyone listening, and I came back like, I don't know, midnight or something. And there's 4 or 5 guys still there. Randy's there. Asks me 5 times within the first 3 minutes if I won my game. Like, had no idea. Complete write
No,
off. Absolute puddle. Just useless.
I was tired. I wanted to go to bed.
You got invited though, Tyler. That's a step up for me.
You were actually invited there, bud.
Zoo Animal just specifically invited you.
Yep.
And you actually said you were coming for a bit, and then you no showed. So that's
Yep.
on you, bud.
I was double booked. I apologize.
But no, I think there's definitely opportunity there for the town. If the town would buy into it, right? I think that's the biggest hurdle is our town is
We don't
like
even need to
you
do the
drive through.
town. Like, we just go to businesses.
No, but you drive through Black Diamond at 9 o'clock at night and it's dead, right? Like the hotel is almost closed. I don't the hours at the Irish pub in Turner Valley I think they're closed at 8 o'clock. You're right though, Tyler. I always forget about kickers. But I think that's the downfall to it is there's nothing open. And I don't know, like to Tyson's point, if there would be, it'd be tough to, do they keep people on staff in hopes that 10 guys are going to show up?
It just has to be an event. You just make it an event, and it goes out to everybody, and it's part of the league, right? And that gives us the off
Yep.
season to kind of work on
Mhm.
building that up for everybody and making it more of a community event. Because, like I said, seeing all everybody at the rink, it starts to become a community in an event, and the kids come during the day, and the wives are there, and then after, people are going to their own separate team parties and things like that. But there's really not that much animosity between all the players and all the teams. Like they'll get together and they'd hang out at the same bar and make fun of each other and chirp each other for a dirty play in the corner in the playoffs. Like it'll happen. That's you know what I mean. It's not that big a deal. So
I think what it really comes down to is to the guys who are, I call them like the league management, like kind of the league team leader or whatever, like your GM. You guys all got to push on your guys and get them to buy into that. Say like, if we're fucking doing this, like everybody is coming to have 2 beers to politely help support, right? Like if they're going to cut, $10 on everyone's fees for the year, you can go buy 2 $5 beers from them, right? Like whatever, like just to kind of have that support, I think is big, but without commitment from the guys who are voicing out to everybody else in the league, we're not going to get the buy-in that we need.
The other difficult part is just, I don't know how many guys are actually from Black Diamond or Turner Valley that play in our league, right? And we don't have that infrastructure in place if guys have one too many pops and need to get home to Okotoks, right? Because now that's a long, like the next morning now you got to scramble to try and get someone to give you a ride back out to Black Diamond. That might be one of the downfalls, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to try and get some together because there's enough guys in Black Diamond, I think, that could make it feasible.
Yeah, I mean, if kickers had 15, 20 of us come in, which is easily, there's more than that live in the Black Diamond area. that would be almost a banger Saturday night for them these days. So,
Mhm.
easy enough.
All right, guys, let's move on as we get kind of near the end of the episode here. We didn't do really an actual recap of the playoffs. Randy, can you just do a quick rundown of the semis and the finals and the lead up into playoffs and what all kind of happened to get everybody their placements and all that kind of shit? Because I don't know if everybody kind of knows how that all worked.
Yeah, the round robin ended up like we thought it would, right? The stump splitters and the Moose both didn't win a game. Clint, you and the DVHC team came out on fire. Had a setback against the Pillman, but the Elks did what the Elks do and find ways to just win a few games. So Pillman, DVHC, Steelers, and the Elks in the semifinals. First semifinal had the Pillman. Kyle Evans decided to take the early game. They thought they were going to run the table. We already touched on what happened in that one. I think it was a 10-1. I actually think they stopped keeping track of the goals. I don't know if they actually scored any in the third, but the score clock read 9-1 at the end of the game, which is a tough one for them. I think I don't know if there was a false confidence going into that semifinal or if they just, when you go 3-0 in the round robin, you might have that let up that goes, oh, we got this. We're golden. The problem is when you're having that format of kind of the top teams get the lower seeds, is you have that easier way to the semifinal, and you're not seeing the Steelers or the Elks or DVHC during the round robin, so you don't really have that kind of. It's tougher because you don't have that like for us, for example, the Moose Knuckles and Stump Splitters, every game was tough, right? So if we were to sneak into the semifinal, we you're already kind of driving that, whereas the better teams don't. And then second semifinal, DVHC versus Steelers or Alcoholics, which I think 3-0. The game was, I think, closer than what that score was because Tyler like stood in his head. There's a lot of like front of the net scrambles that he had to like get us out of. But it was a good team win, that one. I think everyone just kind of stuck to the game plan, kept them to the outside, did whatever. And then that we talked about the final, which was probably one of the better games of the season. Both teams were fast. It was, fairly aggressive with just not dirty, just rubbing guys out in the boards. And I think Tyler got ran about 17 times. But that's the way the Steelers play. They just go to the net. Yeah, I thought the semifinals and finals, it was good hockey. And I think even talking to Pillman, Tyson, and you might have heard different, but they said it was actually a lot closer game than the 9-1 score. Like they said that Penzi did have a tougher game that in the second period. It was 2-0 after one. Yeah, like the score wasn't indicative of actually how the game went. But yeah, I think the final was. I think a best of three would have been. I would have loved to see that second game because there was some built up animosity at the end of that game that would have carried into game two, which would have made it even a lot more electric, I think.
Yeah, it's all fun and games, so you got to go to work the next day. Sorry, Tyler, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, I think it would have been a great one to have a best of three, but
I think enough guys were probably good with that game. It's a tough way. It would have been when you look at the loss. It's actually better to lose in OT than at like that juncture of the game. It feels less like a kick in the stones for everybody, but still, like there was a lot of compete for a lot of guys that you weren't expecting them out there competing, just like taking on guys twice their size, like Buck 10 there. Just
I
some things
played through a fucking dislocated shoulder.
That's true. He did play through a dislocated shoulder as well. Yeah, it was good. It was good hockey. It was good to watch, and I think overall, like the season ended. It's nobody likes to see the winning, like the team that's on a like who's like cheering against the Chiefs when we were all fucking down in Arizona, right? No one wanted to fucking see the Chiefs win. It's the same thing. Nobody wanted to see the Steelers take that one this year because they've already won 2 in a row. It's nice to see someone else win, but it's still good on them for taking the third one, and I'm sure they're going to be ultra competitive, and that's why Mr. Rob Harvey, we're coming for you next year with the broadcast team. it's gonna be a battle for you guys.
I think it's, and like I said, I think the parity in the league was a lot better this year. Like there wasn't a ton of blowouts, which was good to see. Makes it interesting.
All right, boys. As we end the show, roundtable. What's the off season look like? What are we doing? What's going on as we gear up? What's it, other than Tyson? We know you're going golfing every day, but what's the off season setting up? What are we looking at?
Boys got to get their bodies right. Boys got to get the bodies right. You know, Clint's walking around in a walking boot. Randy, soldiered through 2 games, but I think he's still pretty banged up. Tyson came back last night, little game in Blackie, first ice time since getting Scott Stevens to the blue line. So it was good. Get the boys on the ice a couple days a week, have some fun, play some tournaments, get a shit ton of golf in, and get Randy in the gym.
Whoa. Wow. I mean, you're not wrong, but it still cuts deep.
Just imagine how much of an animal you'll be.
I love you just the way you are, Randy. Don't let anyone say anything different about
Thanks,
you,
buddy.
And I know I will be golfing every day. I would like you guys to golf a seventh of that amount, like to come out once a week with me would be pretty dope. If people want to comment on Instagram or whatever, and if they think that's too much golf to ask of you guys, I don't find that's unrealistic, but I would like to see you guys on a frequent basis, other than through my computer screen. Or whatever picture behind Clint is flipping me off for the last hour, but people see that now, right? We're on YouTube now officially. Have we launched yet or no?
It's Johnny Cash.
Never heard of him.
Jesus Christ. I believe that,
For
actually.
sakes.
Thought Tyson did his best work when he was looking at the computer screen.
Some of our older viewers, if you want a project for your Sunday afternoon, Google Kodak Black. He'll culture you.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Anyways, where are you, Clint?
Off-season stuff? Well, rehab, getting rid of these injuries so I don't become such a Band-Aid throughout the season, because this year, I don't know if it's just like too many games for me being fucking getting old and shit, and my body's starting to break down from so many years of fucking abusing it and not taking care of it, which is probably the case for most of us. But getting the rehab in, we'll be golfing with Tyson and Tyler and Randy when he decides to show up. And then, Tyler's got me working. We're going to be getting the new thing on the go, and we're going to be doing some off-season dryland training and a bunch of shit together. So he's got a program that he's getting us going on. So looking to come back into a little bit more lean and.
I guess Tyson and I'll just go fuck ourselves, hey?
Well, I mean, we'll have to see if you guys are interested in doing it or not. Tyler, I'll let you take that lead on that one.
I just invited you to the gym, Randy, and you said, wow. And Tyson has a long-standing statement on his willingness to exercise in pursuit of health and hockey excellence.
You actually didn't invite me. You just said I should hit the gym.
That was an invite.
There's a difference.
That was an invite.
I was going to actually offer to join, just so that you could see me at my full capabilities, just once.
I'd love to see it. Yeah. Let's get the boys out. We'll do a little YouTube series.
Okay. Maybe let's put a poll out if people would like to see us negotiate a workout schedule, because we can't even make time to record our podcast in person. Let's try to come up with a plan on how we're all going to meet at the fucking gym once a day.
You know what I think too, we should put a poll on that. Like, actually, I'm going to send a memo to the league too, is, would there be interest in a possible golf tournament this summer?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awesome.
Like, right? Like if we can get,
72
10 teams even. Right?
72 guys is the one golf course I looked into, so everyone knows 72 guys. So it's not that many teams, really.
No.
I could reach out as an outstanding member at Turner Valley and see if we could do something local as well, if you guys want to try to support the community.
100%.
Last time you reached out to people. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say they'd probably do like burgers and fries for us or something too, like if we wanted after. Like if you did call it $100 a guy and you play 18 and you get like a sleeve of golf balls and a meal, something like that, I think that'd be great for the community. If we're trying to go down and building up Diamond Valley and stuff like that. But whatever you were going to say, Tyler / Carrie, is way more important. So you go ahead.
I was just going to say, last time we saw you reach out to the the employees at the Black Diamond course, or the Turner Valley course, they didn't know who you were. So I don't know if you're our go-to guy on that one, but maybe you're in better with the management than you are with the cart girls.
For those of you who don't know, I'm defending men's team challenge league champion at the Turner Valley Golf Course.
So you're like,
Colton Evans is my partner.
well, like a Tiger Woods, maybe a Jack Nicklaus.
Holy fuck! Here we go again. We don't have time for this. Jesus.
He's a better golfer than I am. I'll put that on the table right now.
All right, Tyler,
comment.
wrap us up with your what you're doing in the off season, buddy.
Oh, it's playing some more hockey, getting this new gym thing going with you. Stay tuned for that, guys. I'm sure we'll share a lot about it. Sounds like I'm getting the boys through some workouts and yeah, just doing my regular thing. Lots of golf with Tyson.
All right, guys. So stay tuned for the Whitefish stuff on the pod, and also actually speaking of Whitefish, just so everyone kind of knows what's coming up. We're doing both tournaments. The boys are doing the first weekend down there, and a lot of media, a lot of social media and filming and content will be produced that weekend. We're also playing in that tournament, and then you guys are going to see us again 2 weeks later in the Whitefish with our own broadcast team. The jerseys are in or have been ordered. They will be in May 2nd. So we'll have the full kit for the broadcast coming in the yellows this year. We have that coming in for Whitefish, and then there's a bunch of draft tournaments that we're looking at doing, and or potentially doing a summer tournament as well. So those will be on the docket, and then there's also the Canada Day tournament, which the boys are all playing in. They don't know it yet, but they do now. With Glenn, so we'll all be playing. I don't know what team we'll be on, whether it's Canada, Sweden, US, whatever, but it's a good time, single day tournament. So there'll be lots of content and lots of hockey content, and then there'll also be lots of golf content because we have a bunch of golf tournaments that we'll be in and supporting our new sponsor for the jerseys as well. So Tice, do you want to give a shout out for Instagram and do your final thing for us, buddy?
Yeah, no, as always, everybody, thanks so much for your support. We just passed 200 followers on Instagram the other day. That's amazing. You know, we're getting a good amount of downloads now on our podcast, which is great. You guys are awesome. Appreciate all your support. We're selling swag now. You guys can see us now on our YouTube. We all got our hats on. A couple of guys. Randy, give me the big flex. Show me your hoodie, buddy. Right? We're all repping our swag tonight. We're all proud to be a part of this. Thank you all so much, and can't wait to continue to share our stories and insights with you all.
And fuck you, Randy.
That wraps up this episode of the Beer League broadcast. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.